Hey, Derek Snow here, the voice of Real Bois-Mortier and Black Clover. That's right, the captain of the Aqua Deer Squad. Where is Charmy? Oh well. Welcome to Anime Egotists. I think it's time for a little bit of picture magic. What do you say? Have fun, guys.
What's bonkin', guys, and welcome back to the Anime Egotists. My name's Alex, and with all the sad stuff going on in the world, it's nice to know that Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection is, well, actually happening.
Yeah, see, as I said, you only have to come out.
You said the same thing. You said some other stuff about a penguin recently, and I still don't trust you over that. So you can understand why I wasn't jumping to be like, hey, Richard was right.
Yes, and I'm Richard.
That's correct. And speaking of pets, we also love Pokemon, but there are a lot of anime characters that won't get to experience Pokemon. But that doesn't necessarily mean we have to leave them out, does it?
No, so we decided to put together lists of anime characters and their partner Pokemon.
That's correct. Whether adorable, mean-spirited, or just because we were just because we're flying by the seat of our pants at times, these are the Pokemon that would be paired with these characters. Just want to say though, thanks so much to Sergi Romero for the awesome thumbnail they did for this video and for the underrated Pokemon characters video, because otherwise, I'm not drawing these thumbnails, but thanks again.
Yes, it's much appreciated.
Would you like to start us off?
Yes, I'll go ahead. So my first one, I picked Deku from My Hero Academia and partnered him with Tyrogue.
Okay.
They seem to have like the same kind of aesthetic of the weakling that aims to grow stronger, Deku wanting to be the world's greatest hero, and Tyrogue training to become a Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, or Hitmonchan. So it's just, I think, a really good combination of everything for them. Their aesthetic, I think, fits. I like the idea of like the one from the anime with its little like torn cape thing that it wore in that one episode. It very much reminds me of the like shredded cape that Deku wears in his dark era. Just a whole bunch of little combination stuff like that. But the ideal is that I could see them training together, like trying to become stronger.
I want Tyrogue sitting on Deku's back as he's doing push-ups. It's like Tyrogue doesn't weigh that much. That's not really that much. You know what? Just give it to Deku. It's okay. Just give it to him.
Then there's a reverse, and it's Deku sitting on Tyrogue's back, and Tyrogue is struggling.
Or I was gonna say Tyrogue is going twice as fast. It's like, wow, Deku, you weigh more than this Tyrogue, and he's still able to out push up you. And Deku's like, you know what? I'm going home for the day.
Yeah. So just the aesthetic of these two fits perfectly. The uh, striving to be better, and they kind of look the same if you really think about it.
Yeah, I do want to see Tyrogue's vigilante outfit though.
It's literally just a mask that he's tied around his face.
It's just like well, I don't know who that vigilante is, but he has a Tyrogue just like Deku. Who knows? It's like no, it's obviously the same guy. Anyway, but yeah, I could definitely agree. I like that one.
Yeah. So your first one?
All right. Just a heads up, I gave each character on my list a different generation to work with, except one, because Generation 1 gets everything. I'm going to start with Nendo from Psyche K gets a Furfrou.
Okay.
All right, so one of the things you learn in season 2 is that Nendo's actually really good when it comes to caring for animals. He's actually he knows what he's doing. He pays attention. He's a good guy. And Furfroas are basically like are basically dogs. So it would be a sense of like he just knows how to take care of it. Not to mention dogs are like they're also very loyal and friendly once you get to know them. And Furfrou is supposedly supposed to be a sign of royalty, just to be like, wow, whose royal dog is this? Oh, it's Nendo. Uh,
Yeah, no, I could see it. Him having that, and then like everybody expects some like fancy pants person having it, and it's Nendo of all people.
exactly. I also had an idea for if he ever competed in the showcases, but one because showcases look as boring as showcases were, I think Nendo would definitely help with them. And you can't tell me at some point he wouldn't try to style his own hairstyle onto the Furfrou.
And it would become a hit. That's the thing. Like people would want it for their Furfrows.
Congratulations, you're the new. Is there a Kalos King?
No, he'd still be Callous Queen.
Works for me. But just Nendo, just because I got more just because. In all honesty, I just want to see a Furfrou with his haircut.
I see it. I'll co-sign. I think that would be actually really funny, and it like rocks it out. It's like perfect for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But also, as we said, Nendo would improve showcases. Not that the bar is high, but what are you gonna do?
100% agree. All right. So my next one. So I put Natsu on my list. I was going through Fairy Tail, and it's like, oh my God, I could do pretty much every character could have a Pokemon. I could have made this entire list with Fairy Tail characters, but I specifically chose Natsu, and I partnered him with Charmeleon. I
Okay.
feel like they're both that like angsty teenager vibe really fits them. Um, I could see like when we get flashbacks of Natsu, he having a Charmander with him, but I didn't want to give him Charizard because I always feel like that always feels like too much. Here, it feels like Charmeleon was the perfect like balance for him.
Yeah.
So just the angstiness of the two of them, and I could see them running around causing all the chaos.
Yeah. That being said, I could also see it being a case of it's like, oh well, it's like it's fairy tale. It's supposed to be like dragons. So I have this one. It's like he does know that the Charmander line is not a dragon. He knows that, right? Don't let him figure it out on his own. So never.
Exactly. It's just as I said, Charmeleon's like the perfect one just because it's eventually it'll look like a dragon. It feels like there's potential for growth to cover it and all that. It just everything about it fits with Natsu.
Yeah. That being, and also, even if it does evolve, like, say what you want about the fairy tale power friendship accusations, but in all honesty, that would work because it's mega evolution. And mega
Mhm.
evolution is not just something you do willy-nilly. It's just you have a bond with your Pokemon. You understand them. That's when they're fully able to mega evolve. So I feel like he would actually pick up on it a little bit faster than other characters might.
I could see that, and then I could see him having the dragon type, which kind of also looks like one of the big bads, Agnologia, with the black and blue uh, like color scheme. It just kind of works.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That one always kind of destroyed me. Like, wow, Mega Charizard X looks super cool, and why I can barely tell a difference when I look. Oh, now I can kind of see it. But
It has one big horn and two smaller horns.
poor Trevor. Would he have the Mega Stone in his scarf?
Yes, and I could see him like in like if Team Rocket was to attack, he just starts swinging his scarf around and he hits them all in the head and runs away.
I mean, with considering the Team Rocket we know, pretty much that might actually work on them.
But yeah, Natsu and Charmeleon, and for the most part, it may have evolved towards the end of Fairy Tail into Charizard, but for the most part, it stays Charmeleon just because it fits him so much better.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
All right, so your next one?
All right. Volt Luster from Bakugan New Vestroya with an Armarogue.
Okay,
Armarogue, whichever. Ever. But the thing about he's one of the villains of the series, Volt is, and he's at first glance he seems really serious, gruff, and kind of no nonsense. Hence, but when you get to know him better, you learn that he actually has kind of a sense of honor. There was a point in the show where they all had to separate the brawlers and take them out. Oh, and it looked like Marucho was gonna die in the desert, but Volt saved his life and said, "All right, let's battle now," showing that look, he's a bad guy, but he does have some sense of morals. And Armoro, you could probably use it for evil purposes, but if you wanted, but it has a code of honor. It doesn't fight dirty. It wants to fight strong opponents, but it also protects the weak. So they kind of work together. And even if it was a case of Volt still being a villain, it would just keep in line with his philosophy of he's a bad guy, not a monster.
all right. I don't know New Vestroya at all, so but I'll co-sign. I think it. He sounds like one of those guys that he's a villain with a code. He's not willing to like kill people but necessarily, but he's still not willing to let you stop him.
Yeah. The one person he seemed like he was going to kill, oh, the person going up against him was like, "Oh, so you're breaking your code of honor." It's like, well, and he says, "Not necessarily. I'm doing this, but you tried to kill me. I'm simply defending myself." I'm like, "All right, so he's not fully stupid." So, okay, I appreciate that. He like he has a code of honor and just it works because armor as also he's a chaos brawler and psychic is well I guess the closest thing to light and Bakugan I guess but just the point just kind of the point being he's a good guy and he would have a Pokemon that he would go, hey, we lost, the deal said if we lost we'd move on, we're moving on.
All right. Yeah, I'll co-sign. He sounds like it's kind of the right fit for him with Armarogue.
Yeah. He went from probably my least favorite villain when I first met him to now I'm like, yeah, I want to see him. He's probably done after this series, but I still want more of him.
Who knows? Maybe he's in the next one.
I have well, I'll talk about more about that another day.
All righty. So my next one.
Go ahead.
So I put Sakura and Chansey together.
Okay.
It's the combination of they both use like a lot of healing stuff, but then also like Chansey, whenever it attacked in like the anime, it could beat down opponents with like double slap. And I just imagine that Sakura with her super strength could do that too. It just like the two of them, like if like Naruto and had a Pokemon and whatever it was, they both get slapped at the same time and go flying thanks to the Sakura and her Chansey.
I do remember one episode where Ash battled the Nurse Joy and Chansey just beat the snot out of Corfish and then put him on the stretchers like, all right, let's go heal this Pokemon. I'm like, this is look, I'm
That's
glad these
exactly what would
Pokemon
happen.
I'm glad these Pokemon centers don't charge anything because like that's a whole I would need a lawyer.
I just automatically picture that it's like, how do you get business? Well, one, I attack them, then I take them back to my own hospital, and then I charge them thousands of dollars to be able to get healed.
Yeah, yeah. In all honesty, the Chansey line is kind of one of those where it's like the more I see it in the anime and other fiction, the more I'm like, this is not something I will ever want to fight. And for everything I said about Sakura, I don't. I'm. She's not really somebody who I want to fight.
Exactly. She's is really strong. Like no matter how what people say, she may not be the best actual fighter, but she is really strong. And that's why I put her on the list with Chansey, because just the experience and the Chansey from the anime makes this make so much sense.
Yeah. Plus Chansey like, Genjutsu. So get Chansey would be like, no, hit me with Genjutsu. Seriously, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm never going to Sakura's hospital because I feel like she might take that business practice you talked about, like, oh, that's a good idea. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, she probably would.
But I definitely can co-sign. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
So what's your next one?
All right. Togawa Togawa Sakiko from Ave Mujica with a Phalanx.
Okay.
All right, so Sakiko's kind of she's kind of lived a rough life. She ever since she was young, she's wanted to be in a band, and the first band she was in, things were working out well. Her mom seemed happy, her dad was taking care of her. Everything seemed to go well. Oh, but then her mother tragically passed away, and she was the breadwinner of their family, and so her father would like she went to a different school, she had to quit the band she was in, and now she's part of another band, but the thing is, she feels alone for a good chunk of the series. And Phalanx is kind of one of those Pokemon where it's like we're never alone because we have each other, and they always find ways of working off of each other because you never hear stories about each individual Phalanx bickering with each other. It's like all six of them do what they have to do. So it would be a case of, hey, we got your back. You're not a Phalanx like us, but we're still here for you.
All right. Having that little extra support through your Pokemon, I could see it.
Yeah. Plus, you can't tell me that deep down, like that, if you saw Pierce at some point, him rocking out with a Phalanx in one of his band practices, you can't tell me that wouldn't make a little bit of sense.
No, it does.
Yeah. Plus, you might think to yourself, well, isn't there another family-ish Pokemon you could have put with her? I'm like, yeah, there is. But also, I like this idea of this sweet girl who does her best to be strong and is a little timid at times. Just ask this Pokemon that could beat the snot out of you if it could. Part of me finds that a little bit funny.
Where it has its shield and charges at you.
Yeah, yeah, but just I don't know, just the extra support of Phalanx being like, hey, I got you. It's okay.
I can co-sign. I like the idea because I do really like Phalanx. I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah, I was scared too because I was like, is Phalanx gonna be on Richard's list? I don't, at this point, I don't care. Unless the only downside for me would be if we had the same Pokemon with the same character, and I don't think that's gonna happen. But we've surprised me before. But I'm like, let me talk about Sakiko because I don't talk about her. I don't talk about this show at all, really.
All right, I'll co-sign. I think it's a really good idea. I think I like it better than Mousehold, which is the one I'm assuming you were gonna use.
Yeah, yeah. I like Mousehold okay, but like I said, a sweet innocent girl with a Pokemon that could beat the snot out of you with a bunch of with its sextuplets to me kind of works.
Yeah, I'll co-sign. I like it. All right. So my next one.
Go ahead.
So I picked Kirito and Doublade. I was gonna pick H slash, but Doublade, he's a dual wielder. It makes sense. Um, that's kind of the big mindset behind it. Him going with these like sentient blades would just make him that much more powerful in his sword fighting. And just imagine like he's swinging the sword and like you trip him up, he keeps going, but the sword stays blocking or something. Like it to the point where they're like in sync so much that they're like if he messes up or the sword messes up, they can help each other out and stop something from happening.
He just starts walking around with a flying pair of blades, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" It's like it's for the new season. The what? We're still doing this?
Yeah. But yeah, Dual Blade, as I said, this one is solely because the aesthetic fit too well with him and the two swords.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
plus, they're very honorable, just loyal Pokemon. And plus, you could argue Kirito likes to protect the people around him, and the Pokemon like that generally want to protect people.
exactly. And I could see them having like traveling from like if it's in the video game world that him keeping these sentient swords with him at all times or uh whatnot. So I think this is just a really good fit for him.
Yeah. As long as they don't fall in love with him like seemingly every other character in that show, I think I'll find a way to be okay with it.
One does, the other hates him.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but both, neither, I don't know.
But yeah, plain and simple, he's a dual bladed warrior and do blade.
Sounds good to me.
So, all right. So your next one.
All right. Nube from Hell Teacher Nube with a Spiritomb.
Okay.
All right, so this is like the second. This is the second time I've talked about this show, and the first time while actually watching it. So Nube is a teacher at a school, and he seems normal, but he actually has a demon in the one of his hands that helps him exercise things. Meanwhile, Spiritomb is just a bunch of collective wicked spirits that have turned wicked. And while it seems like he just wants to exercise them at first, it is implied that he does just want to help people. So it's like not all spirits are malicious. So like people can turn around in life, spirits can turn around in life. So I just like to think it would be a case of he's so fascinated by it because the occult stuff and spirit it's do interest him. So he could be like, "Oh, I heard the spiritomb. It was crying. It was crying out. I thought it needed me." It's like, no, this is just how spiritomb are. But it would be a case of they would grow incredibly close because spiritomb like. I noticed in the video games, it's like, oh, you look. Let's take a look at this Pokemon's footsteps and how it feels about you. Oh, it doesn't have footsteps, but the descriptions are always interesting because a certain Pokemon will be like, "Oh, I like my partner. I think they're amazing," or "My partner's kind of weird, but I like them." But Spiritomb would just be a case of it would take a while to warm up, but it would still like Nube for the clumsy yet kind-hearted guy that he is.
I can see it being like group like a Spiritomb that's trying to do good despite the spirits that are happening it. And partnering with somebody like that, I like the idea.
Yeah. Plus, you're telling me that if you went to class one day and your teacher's like, "Hey guys, we have a new class pet. It's a Pokemon. It's a Spiritomb." I would never leave that class.
I can see it being shy, and it's like its keystone's just sitting there shaking as all the students stare at it, and then it pops like partway out and then pops back in, hiding.
Yeah, and the second things start going wrong at the school, because it seems to happen every single episode. Felt like, dang it, Spiritomb. Oh, sorry, Force of Habit. No, this is someone else.
Yeah, I like it. I like the little idea of like it kind of fits because I was like when you said he has a demon in his hand that helps him exercise things. It's like that's a little backwards, but okay.
Yeah, sort of. Oh, I finally started what because I said before I was like, man, I really want to give this show a chance because I think I'm gonna like Nube. Hey, started watching the remake. There are times I'm like, wow, this is really cool, and then there are other times I'm like, well, I didn't need to sleep tonight. Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's one that I may need to give a shot as well. I don't know. I got so many things to watch and behind on so many different shows right now.
It's on YouTube and it comes out like every Wednesday, I think. I don't know. I'm about to finish something else. So once I'm done with that show, which I'll talk about another day, then I'll be sure. Then I'll probably catch up.
All right. But for now, I'll go sign. It sounds really interesting.
All right. Oh wow, honorable mentions already.
Yeah. All right. So my first honorable mention.
Please.
So I put Frieren and Delphox together. I debated Hatterene with Frieren, but I felt like Delphox felt like the kind of good witch with magic and all that a bit more to me. So I wanted to put them together. I could see them like using magic to create the flowers and stuff like Frieren does in the show, but having like these hidden extra powers and stuff that, especially now that Delphox is getting Mega Evolution, it's like I don't know, there's something about it. And Freeren's supposed to be this ultra powerful magician in her world that even though she doesn't have the highest rank, is just it's kind of like a Psyche K thing, or not Psyche K. One thing where he's not the highest ranked, but he's the strongest kind of thing. It's kind of
I
what Freeren is.
I could kind of see her in Psyche K from the little I've seen of that show. She wouldn't be completely out of her element.
Yeah, and just I don't know the kind of cutesiness of um, uh, Breakson and Fennekin fit like the earlier vibes with Frieren not like understanding the world, and so she has this Pokemon that's like really cute, but she just wants to train it up as fast as possible. I could see it happening, and now that she's expanding horizons and being more open and stuff, it's hitting her like, oh, I should have enjoyed more time with uh, my Pokemon when it was in its younger stages.
True. I could kind of see it's gonna sound a little weird. I could kind of see her similar to Go as a train. Like, hey, I know all the stuff I have to do, but just applying it could be very difficult. Because they did that well with Go with his score bunny.
Exactly. I could definitely see that and being like the mindset because that's the whole big thing is she had trouble making connections with others before and now is making these connections with people, but it's with the next generation beyond her original friends.
Oh, that's right. She's old now.
But still looks the same as she did like 100 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say she looks old, but that has not stopped the internet. But that's another point for another podcast.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Rated R podcast.
Hell no. That you'll have to find a different co-host for that podcast because I'm like no I'm just like I'm good.
uh, but yeah, I just these two felt the most connection with the whole witchy vibes of both of them. That's why I put them together.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can see that.
All right. So your first honorable mention?
Suzy from Zatch Bell with a Wishiwashi.
Okay.
All right, so well, I kind of see it as it's a case of Suzy needs a lot of help, similar to how Wishiwashi, just having one of them would be cool, but having a whole sea of them is usually, a whole school of them is usually what is usually a lot more helpful. It turns into a giant fish monster, and that's generally what people like seeing. Also, that having a vicious monster or with somebody like Suzy, who's well, not vicious in the slightest, would be hilarious. And it's also known as the Demon of the Sea. And considering their Momoto are called demons in Zatchbell, I could see everybody chasing after. It's like we have to send it back to the Momoto. Wait, where's your book? What book? My school book? No, that's not a Momoto, is it?
I definitely see this being interesting because that's actually a really interesting idea of having a Momoto that is like in the water all the time.
Yeah.
Was there one that was like that?
Not
Like,
off the top of my head, I don't think so. But we've already made Momoto. I don't feel like making another one.
I know maybe if we ever do more story related stuff, if we bring ourselves in different arcs, and we need villains to fight so we don't take over the story.
We could do that. Then again, maybe Zatch Bell 2 will finally get an anime. Well, it's only 30 episodes long, 30 chapters long at this point, so an anime is not a good idea at this moment unless you want nonstop filler. But also, ooh, she kept getting Zatch's name wrong at some point, and you can't tell me if Suzy had a Momoto, the name Wishiwashi. Come on, that sounds like a Suzy name.
Perfect. Because it has like some like really complicated, like very honorable sounding name, and she calls it Wishy-Washy.
And it's just like, fine.
But yeah, I'll co-sign. I really like the idea.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to make a Zatch Bell episode like that, go for it. Just put my name in the credits. But what's your next honorable mention?
My next honorable mention, I have this one. I may have cheated a little bit, but I put Reinhardt and Yang from Legend of Galactic Heroes. They each have a, a meteor, the little meteorite Pokemon.
Minior?
Minior, yes.
Okay.
Uh, I imagine Reinhardt's being the shiny black one, and Yang having one of the like probably like a red one. It just kind of fits the aesthetic, but just I could just see him having space battles and it just floating there next to them, and whenever they meet up, they butt heads.
Oh my
But
goodness. And would they do any actual battling or they would just routinely just argue?
uh, I think they would battle. It would be part of like there's different episodes where like they go against each other. I could see them being like these drawn out battles the where they like are flying around hitting each other over and over again.
Someone's just like, "Oh, look at the meteor show going on." It's like, "Yeah, the whole world's about to explode." Yeah, but I'm enjoying this meteor shower. Trust me, this show doesn't have a whole lot of happy moments. Just let me have this.
Yeah, and again, the shiny being black kind of fits the Reinhardt aesthetic of being a very unique Pokemon, but then also very dark because of that coloring. So that one just fits. For Yang, I could see it being either the reddish pink one or the blue, or one of the blue ones would be the best fit, I think. But I don't know, just one of those. He has very much more generic like one by comparison.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about Minior was in the Sun and Moon anime. I want to say it was a Sophocles themed episode, but outside of that, remember the episode being pretty good. I don't remember a whole lot about it though.
I always like the Pokemon. I want to see more of it. I think it's another cool concept, especially because you can get it in so many different variations.
Yeah. I remember Sophocles was like, "No, I saw a meteor headed to Earth," and everyone's like, are you feeling okay?" Hey, and Lana just straight up calls him a liar. And I'm like, "Look, I'm all for humiliating Sophocles, really I am. But Lana's the last person who should be saying someone's a liar." I'm like, "Lana, half your stories are just wrong."
But it's Sophocles, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's all right. But my next one,
Go right ahead.
all right. Gaara from Naruto with a Maractus.
I love it.
Yes. So as Gaara gets older and becomes a healthier person, thanks to Naruto, he also discovers one of his hobbies. His hobby is taking care of cacti. Hi, and so I could see him just finding ways of constantly tending toward it and just making sure its flowers are nice, just finding way, and they both just find ways of understanding each other. Admittedly, Maractus was never a Pokemon I used all that often, even though part of me is like, I want to do a playthrough with one on my team, but I just see Gar doing everything he can to take care of it and kind of remedy it, and it would just it loves him and it would try to hug him, like similar to how Cacnea would hug James, but Gar has his sand shield, so it doesn't even hurt him.
I could also see it because doesn't it have like little maracas? It shakes its
So,
maracas and it is like tries to get him to dance,
yes, yes.
and it's very like out of tune, like not the right speed.
That being said, based on what I remember from Gara in Naruto's wedding video, I don't think he's up for. I don't know if he's a dancer.
Exactly. But I see like Maractus is constantly trying to get him to dance as well and shaking its little maracas at him.
It still kills me that they were like, say some words to Naruto on his wedding, and Gara just runs out of frame. I'm like, that's not, the homicidal maniac I saw in the first episode he was in has come a very long way. I'm proud of him, but this is still bizarre.
Yeah, he went from somebody who wouldn't be camera shy in murdering somebody to somebody who's camera shy to say his feelings about the man who's getting married.
Yeah, but just and also it also oh that's right. Maractus has seeds that spreads across the desert. Maybe it helps the sand village in other ways.
It finds a way of like turning kind of lush or a barren desert a little bit lush.
Yeah. Now, hopefully not too much because it's the village hidden in the sand, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah.
mainly for Gara and his love of cacti, which the older I get, the more I'm like, huh, something we have in common.
Yeah. Okay, so I like the idea. I like it being like because I would have put maybe considered early on he has Pilosand, the
Yeah, I get what you mean.
just because that also kind of fits as a stick early on, but this fits him much more at the end of the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently he got set up on a date with somebody and went and they were like, "Oh, so you like to take care of cacti?" Apparently he went overboard and scared her off. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Gara."
No, but as I said, I'll co-sign. I like that honorable mention.
All right. What's your last honorable?
So my last honorable mention is Senku from Doctor Stone having a Magnemite.
Okay.
I could see it being one of those things like it could almost be like the formation of the Pokemon world being like Earth freezes and everybody turns to stone, and when Senku wakes up, there's all of a sudden been all this adaptation due to whatever caused this, and now Pokemon are a thing. And his first partner Pokemon is a Magnemite because it just kind of fits, like him wanting to redevelop the world, and so he's got a Pokemon that can produce electricity. It has magnets on it, and all that would be really interesting, I think.
Yeah. Especially just with the way it spins, because Magnemite get real are supposedly really strong and give off a lot of power when they start spinning. I could see him being spending time researching it, and eventually the Magnemite's like, I have to slow down. This is too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not only go ahead.
I just see that the Magnemite would be the best um like I don't know. It's just something about it would be perfect for him. Like wanting to generate electricity, like how he develops that would be uh that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I do remember in Journeys, Francois the Magnemite liked antique stuff. I could, if Senku was alive in this time, I feel like antique stuff, he'd be like, oh, this is retro. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I could really see it. And then I could see him like just with all the invention Magnemite getting super excited and floating like differently and doing like a some sort of like little floating dance.
Them with Gara and his Maractus, I could see that friendship.
Be an interesting like thinking back on like Dr. Stone stuff being like all the characters could have different Pokemon. I can really see that happening. Like the foundation of the Pokemon world coming from like every human getting frozen for a little while and then hatching out of stone and the world's changed.
Is that what led to the Pokemon War Lieutenant Surge can't seem to shut up about?
It was the battle between the Kingdom of Science and the uh, Kingdom of Strength.
Why do I get the feeling he definitely wasn't on science? Because he did not seem like a rocket scientist.
No, he's the one that proved that electric Pokemon didn't have to be on the Kingdom of Science's
Well,
team.
well, in the anime, when you're 9 feet tall, a 9 foot tall monster, it sounds like this. I might have to take his side.
Yeah. And that's why he had Raichu. Raichu wasn't the brightest bulb in the bushel.
Well, considering he used one Thunder against Pikachu in their second battle and nothing else. Yeah, yeah. Lieutenant Surge, you are pretty, but you are so dumb. But
All
I could definitely
right.
see Senku having a Magnemite. Like it does work in line with him.
Yeah, there were other science Pokemon, but this one just felt the most right.
The only thing I would think was a what's it called, a Metagross, because apparently it's ridiculously smart. But that was just a guess. That was just an idea I threw out.
Maybe. I feel like Magnemite would be his partner, and maybe he has a Metagross that he finds later on.
Sure.
All right. So your last honorable mention?
All right. Alice from Persona 5 Strikers with a Mareep.
Okay.
All right, admittedly, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but Alice is the first villain of Strikers, and she seems super nice, but she's actually very manipulative and wants to destroy people's relationships. But things are a little bit different than you think, because she grew up, and when she was in high school, she was really timid and shy, and one of the popular boys had a crush on her, but a bunch of other girls bullied her and had the boys stay away from her, pretty much ruined her life. So when she became manipulative, like, oh, if I can't be happy in a relationship, nobody can. It like on in particular helped her realize the error of her ways, and it could be a case of her starting over and realizing maybe connections with people aren't that bad. Maybe there are people out there who could be decent. And I said Mareep because it's like, well, if she's starting from the bottom, she should start with the lowest evolution, Mareep. Also, she's super into fashion, and apparently Mareep's fur can be used for like clothing and stuff, provided you just make sure it's safe before it electrocutes you, because apparently that happens a lot.
I think they mentioned that during Gen 5's anime. I think during like one of the fashion ones, it's like it's made of Mareep wool.
Yeah, you made sure to take care of it, right? Right? Sure.
But yeah, I can co-sign. I like that idea
Yeah.
of starting out with like the weakest Pokemon. It makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, to me, Mareep, Flaffy, and Faros are to me, it's one of those Pokemon evolution lines where it's like, no, there's no flaw with this evolution line. Like every one of them works.
Exactly. And I like how they change colors completely throughout the entire line. Like none of them look the same color scheme.
Yeah. And when if she ever did a fashion show or a concert or something, and she would mega evolve her in Faros, and it would grow that massive, incredible mane of hair.
Just it flows. It's the Fabio of Pokemon.
Exactly. And people might be thinking to yourself, well, what about Gothita or another fashionable Pokemon? I'm like, well, I wanted her to recover from her sadness. Have you any of you ever been sad hugging a sheep? I don't think it's possible.
In Gothita, if I remember correctly, in the anime, it usually has a lot of depressing episodes with it.
I have no idea. But my point of saying, every time I've been sad and I've pet a sheep, I'm like, oh, this is so wonderful. This is so perfect.
How often have you pet a sheep?
More times than you would think.
Good to know.
Worked with a lot of animals in high school, but that's another point for that's another point for another day.
But yeah, I like the idea. It sounds like a cute little part of the story.
Exactly. But who's your last character from outside of Pokemon to, well, get their own Pokemon?
So I put Hinomaru and Makuhita together. So Hinomaru, it's from Hinomaru Sumo.
Okay.
So Hinomaru is this like athlete who really wants to be the best sumo wrestler, but he's severely undersized for a sumo wrestler. He pretty much peaked in middle school, and now he's trying to find his role uh, in sumo, despite the fact that he's been told he's too small. He doesn't even really make featherweight, if there's even such a thing in sumo.
Not that I'm aware of.
So he has to find his own. I could see it being a whole situation where he finds this Makuhita that for some reason can't evolve into Hariyama, and they both want to be the best at sumo, and they like could be one of those like. I mean, there is sumo in Pokemon because we've seen it before, but uh, one where it's like the trainer and the Pokemon have to sumo wrestle at the same time, and them trying to climb that ranking and against these like massive, oversized Pokemon that should like destroy them easily. And it's that story of them coming together and becoming the best sumo wrestlers possible.
Yeah. Plus, how would you describe this guy? Hinomaru, you said that was his name?
Yes,
How would you describe his personality?
he's very encouraging to others. I don't remember him getting like disheartened or anything like by the fact that he's undersized. He always believes that he's the best and can do it. So
Yeah.
I could definitely. I mean, there might be a little bit of time where he gets disheartened, but he always goes to like find somebody better to train him. He finds the next who can teach me something new to make up for my disadvantage.
Yeah, but it also helps because Makuhita does. It says in his Pokedex entries, no matter how many times it gets knocked down, it gets back up, and it's really gutsy and loves training. So it could be a case of even at his worst, Makuhita's like, nope, we're not done. We're not done till I reach the top and you reach the top with me.
Exactly. These two just fit perfectly together. I felt like both wanting to be the and it'd bring back one of those interesting things that kind of only showed up in one episode in back in Johto's era
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Pokemon Sumo teams.
Or Ash catches a Pokemon that's fit for the sumo team and wins the competition, and then says, "Hey, let me train your Pokemon and keep your Pokemon with me." I'm like, "But I already won. You are useless right now. No, Primeape, you're sticking with me."
God, I always forget about that episode.
Yeah, it's the one where people take a screen cap of Geodude say talking to Brock. I'm like, that can't be real, can it? But it's been so long since I've seen the episode, I can't even say.
Yeah, I've recently watched the episode where Ash gets Primeape. So, but I know it's a few episodes after that. He only has him for like 4 episodes or something.
He catches a donut that episode and then unleashes Primeape on Team Rocket. Ash, original series Ash Ketchum was kind of a sicko.
He really is.
Man, but yeah, definitely a Makuhita for us. One for the sumo wrestling aspect, but also just it's gutsy and it doesn't give up, and it seems like a loyal Pokemon.
Exactly. Their personalities, I think, would match perfectly. They would get into the skin of some of the other characters, but also uh, encourage them and get them to grow if they did like the team aspect of the sumo part of it.
Yeah. Also, Makuhita's almost 200 pounds. Like training and throwing it sumo style, you'd get a workout in.
Exactly. It's a good balance for fighting another person, probably.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So your last one?
All right. Kusumi from Windbreaker with a Ralts.
I think I know kind of who you're talking about. I'm 100%.
Okay, so Kusumi is admittedly he hasn't gotten a whole lot to do at this point, but he's very quiet, but he's also incredible, but he also seems friendly, like a lot like he's one of the vice captains of the second years, and people describe him as, he's a nice guy. Like, hi, and Ralts is also a very gentle Pokemon. It does, in fact, when you first catch it, it only knows growl. How Wally leveled it up, I'm not sure, but it's just a case of it's also very in tune with emotions. It likes spending time with happy people, it likes spending time with cheerful people, and Kusumi is generally seen smiling. and is also very intuitive with how he feels and how other people feel. So it could be a case. I could see that. Plus, they also have very similar haircuts with their hair covering their face.
Okay, the bowl cut look
Yeah.
is the next stage. Like he pulls his back so it looks like a Curlia if it evolves.
I maybe because we've seen his eyes a couple of times, and every now and he generally has a smile on his face. But similar to how I remember Ralts in the episode where Max almost catches it when it blasts Team Rocket, you see Ralts, and Ralts is not friendly at that point. It's out for blood, and from what people say about Kusumi, they say, "Oh, he's a nice guy, but he gets a pretty sharp look in his eyes." Especially when he's mad, implying that between his group of friends, his friend who loves Yakuza movies and yells a lot, and his other friend who has really bad temper tantrums, the kid you need to be worried about is the kid with the bowl cut who wears sweaters and smiles a lot. I'm like, I'm not pissing him off.
God, the way you described him now, I'm like, I was thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna end up with a Gallade. But now I'm like, oh, he may end up with a Gardevoir
Who, who,
that has
who,
like this evil look in its eye.
who knows? And the thing is, it also reminds me of that episode of Battle Frontier where they meet, where one of the Battle Frontier brains says, "Oh yeah, I have a Pokemon. I have psychic Pokemon, but I don't actually talk to them. We communicate telepathically," which is something I'm like, I feel like more people should try to do that, and it would work perfectly because as far as we've gotten, Kusumi hasn't said a word. It's heavily implied that he just doesn't talk.
Interesting. Is it going to be one of those things you think that when he says something, it's going to be very profound, or is it going to be like one of those things he finally speaks and he's got the highest pitched voice possible?
Oh God, I hope it's profound because it is said that he writes notes or texts people, and it's very simple stuff like, "Hey, we can do it," or "Good job, guys." But even if he did have a high pitched voice, I've seen what he looks like when he's mad. I wouldn't make fun of him. I'd be like, "So that's what you sound like." I'm just happy that you're comfortable around us. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect fit. The like, don't underestimate a uh, like uh, like the Ralts idea with somebody who's like quiet and kind.
Yeah. Yeah, but it would, like I said, in all seriousness though, it would work because it's like, hey, like Ralts are ridiculously hard to find in some cases, and like they look for cheerful people. And Kusumi, he does seem like, in all honesty, like a really sweet guy who likes helping people. Well, now what? I don't see them getting haircuts anytime soon because he seems to like his hair the way it is. But just part of me was at first was like because of the haircuts, and then I started thinking, oh no, because he's a good guy.
And there's a lot more to it in this case.
Yeah, I want to know more about him, but at the same time, I'm also like, if we don't get any more about him, I'll be sad, but I'm not exactly anticipating it.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, I've got so many anime I've wanted to watch bits and pieces of at least. And
Yeah,
this is one of them.
I'm going through stuff right. If I watch more new stuff, it distracts me from the fact that Windbreaker hasn't come back yet, and now I just remind myself of that, and now I'm sad. But Black Clover's coming back, so that helps.
Is this going to be like all the way to the end finally? Like, because didn't the manga end officially or no?
The manga is still going on.
Okay, so we still have a ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, Kusumi from Windbreaker or with the Ralts for the telepathic communications, the bowl cuts, and just the sense of you don't mess with a nice kid.
Yeah, I'll co-sign. It sounds really really.
Yeah. So we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
All right, my friends. Who are some Pokemon that you would like with certain anime characters? You don't have to make it. You can make it as obvious as you want, but we just want to know because it's a little bit of a different video.
Yeah, and I mean this is one that hits so many ideas. I could do this like if we picked just a single anime that either we both know. I could probably do it with just that. Like if we did Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, I think I could do it.
I could probably do that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that though. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, give us your ideas, be good to each other. We'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.